So I'm the co-founder of the Arab Entrepreneurs Board, and we look after entrepreneurs from the Middle East, particularly the GCC, who want to expand to the UK, and the other way around, so the ones from the UK who wants to expand to the Middle East. But the Middle East is usually misunderstood in so many ways, and is challenged also in so many ways. So far, we've been doing really, really well as women for the past few years, since all the massive visions have come across. However, despite progress, gender is still biased, and the biases persist, especially in business. So if you actually ask a child to draw an entrepreneur, most likely, it's like over 90%, they will draw a man that they saw on TV or etc. In fact, even more concerning, a recent study showed that 81% of 11 to 18 years old couldn't name a single female entrepreneur, just because they do not see that amplified in the media as you would think. And honestly, this just cannot be our future, right? So why do we champion entrepreneurship for women? One, because the most important thing is female entrepreneurship matters. It matters because, one, it challenges norms. Two, it transfers systems, and I will speak about this in a little bit more. And it proves once and for all that leadership just has no gender. But as we focus on the Arab women entrepreneurs, particularly looking at the GCC and the ecosystem there, and by entrepreneurs I mean this includes women founders, investors, women investing in women, which is becoming a very big thing now in the Middle East, and the vital role of financial education as well, also another trending topic in the Middle East. So let's look at some statistics. And most of the statistics are stereotypes. So drawing from the 2024 Global Entrepreneurship Monitor study, which examined women across 40 countries, across many countries, continents, actually across all the continents. And these 40 countries including the UK, the US, and few selected countries from the Middle East. Let's see reality that is very, very different from the narrative that we actually hear. So I have some stereotypes for you, and you can tell me if it is true or false. So stereotype number one, women are less likely to aspire to start a business. False, yes, yes. So globally, startup intentions sit around 17% for women and 20% for men. But in Oman, for example, women's startup intentions reach an astonishing 65%. It's way higher than the 17 average. This tells us something powerful. Women in MENA don't just see entrepreneurship as an option, they see it as a high likely career path. Stereotype number two, women take fewer initiatives to start businesses from scratch. False, yes, correct. It's false. Globally, 1 in 3 women start businesses as solopreneurs, compared to 1 in 5 in men. So overall, globally, this is already false. In Qatar, women were nearly 3 times more likely than men to launch a solo business from scratch, as in without funding, go and look for the funding yourself, which is amazing determination. Stereotype number 3, women lack confidence in their entrepreneurial skills. Wrong? Okay. Possibly overall, but not in the Middle East. In Saudi Arabia, nearly 90% of women believe that they have what it takes to start a business. And 93 say they would recognize the right opportunity should that opportunity present itself, which is actually was the highest rate in the entire study out of the 40 countries. So that shows how confident these women are. Stereotype number 4, almost done. Women may be better social entrepreneurs, but they are less likely to build wealth.
To build wealth?
Yeah, to build wealth. So they go.
False.
Okay. This one is a bit controversial. Yes. So overall, it is true. Yeah. Women usually start a venture because they want to make a change. They want the social impact as well. And it's good that of course, you have to sustain your company. You need to make the money. However, what was so interesting about this study is that in the Middle East, again, which is very uniquely, women not just match or surpass men in building startups for wealth. They actually, in the study, they actually showed that the main reason that I would start a startup, yes, it's good if I make an impact, but I want to make wealth. which is unique to the region. So none of the other countries responded like this. This is very interesting for investors, because if you are investing in a woman-led company, you usually do it as well, like, oh, I will fill in a quota, I will support women, I will show that my company has a good ESG program. But that's not true. If the woman you're investing in wants to make wealth, then that's an amazing investment for you, because you're going to make wealth through this woman's determination. Now, stereotype number 5. Women can't scale businesses as well as men.
Not true.
Yes, false. In Saudi Arabia, 10% of women own established businesses, matching their male counterparts. Women don't just start companies, they grow them and sustain them. Now, let me address why we consistently champion entrepreneurship in the Arab Entrepreneurs Board. So I'm a person who came to the UK 25 years ago. I'm originally from Algeria, so I'm the NA, the North Africa part of the MENA world. I came on a scholarship to study. I studied computer science. I stayed in academia for 10 years. Then the crisis happened with the credit crunch, so I shifted to banking, ironically, because those are the only people that were bailed out. The universities were not. So I stayed in banking for 15 years, and I recently, 6 years ago, I had twins. It turns out that my twins are both autistic, nonverbal, so I had to create another shift for myself. So the third shift in my career, and go into entrepreneurship, so I can actually run my own business and make my own rules and manage my own time. Now, I'm myself most likely neurodiverse, because to have 2 children neurodiverse, most likely you are as well. And I'm a night owl. I work better at night. I'm more creative at night. And I also see that as my mind and my body grow, my energy level changes during the day, it changes during the month, it changes during the year, etc. So it's very fundamental that we have women who run their own businesses without answering to anyone, and to just manage from the top down, because that means that you have the absolute power, or chance at least, of power to make the decisions around HR policies and decide how your company is going to run. Now, if we have one or two of these women, it's a good start. But if the more we grow that entrepreneurial ecosystem in these countries, the better, because these countries, I always think of them as a white page. They are, especially the GCC, where funding is available, and it's a whole new chapter in the history of these regions. So you can start writing the rules. And the more entrepreneurs you have, the better, because it's a collective of women. So the more women can tell you that you don't have to do the 9 to 5, you don't have to show up 5 times of the week, because if you want to care for your parents or your children, or you want to do this, or you want to do your creative work at night, I am flexible with that, because I understand what you go through, the better for us. And this closes many gaps that we have even here in the UK and all around the world. Like overall, it's called the gender gap, but it's the gender gap, which is the payment gap between men and women. You have the motherhood gap, where a woman is slower in career because she took many years to have children. You have the menopause gap. Usually in your 50, you, as a woman, that's the time, men or women, that's the time to hit the C-suite. That's the time to be a chief strategy officer or a CEO, etc. But that's at the same time, the time that your body is changing. And people still don't understand this. So menopause slows women down in their leadership. And the last gap that I will mention is the pension gap. So women even have less money when they go to pension because of all these gaps that slow them down. So they never actually got to the point where they are making the same money as men. So entrepreneurial ventures, they give you these opportunities. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much.